Cardiology, presented by Owura-Kojo, Bilson, Darku. Introduction. Hello, my name is Owura-Kojo, Bilson, Darku, and today I'll be talking about the heart. The heart is an organ in your body that functions as a pump for your body. It takes blood from your veins and it goes to the lungs for oxygen so you can breathe, which is important. It has arteries, blood vessels, veins, and capillaries. The heart's blood vessels belong to all areas of the body. The reason why I'm doing this presentation is because I plan to pursue a career in cardiology. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Today in my presentation, I'll be talking about the heart, the aortic valve, the pulmonary valve, the tricuspid valve, the mitral valve, the inferior vena cava, and the superior vena cava. I'll also be talking about the aorta, the right ventricle and the left ventricle, the right atrium and the left atrium, the pulmonary vein, diseases of the heart. I'll be talking about some diseases of the heart, which are heart failure, valvular stenosis, hypertension, cardiac arrest, heart attack, and I'll also include some pictures in my presentation. Parts of the heart. The aortic valve. The aortic valve is a valve in the human heart between the left ventricle and the aorta. It is located in the left side of the heart, and is an outflow valve. It is one of the two semilunar valves of the heart, the other being the pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve. The pulmonary valve is also a semilunar valve of the heart that is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. It has three cusps. It is also one of the valves that let blood leave the heart, but it's a one-way valve, so blood can't come back into the heart. So here's the pulmonary valve right there, and then it has three cusps. Blood can go out, but it can't come back in. Tricuspid valve. The tricuspid valve prevents the flow of blood from the right ventricle into the right atrium during ventricular systole. If you take many drugs, it will abuse your tricuspid valve, causing major diseases. So here's the tricuspid valve right there. And it gets abused when you take many drugs. The mitral valve. The mitral valve also has two cusps. It opens up and blood travels and moves from the left atrium to the left ventricle with the mitral valve. So here are some leaflets of the mitral valve. And this is inside the mitral valve. Inferior vena cava. The inferior vena cava is the largest vein in the human body. It takes blood from other veins, serving tissues to the heart. So here's the inferior vena cava, and up there is the aorta. The superior vena cava. The superior vena cava is formed by the left and right innominate veins. The superior vena cava is short unlike the inferior vena cava, but has a large diameter. The superior vena cava also receives blood from the upper limbs of your body. So here's the superior vena cava. It's not large, but has a wide diameter. The aorta. The aorta is the main artery of the heart. The aorta is located in the top of the heart. It pumps blood from the left ventricle to the aorta, which goes through the aortic valve. The aortic valve does not close completely like most, which allows blood into the heart when it beats. So here's the aorta. It's at the top of the heart, very top of the heart when you start with the heart. The right ventricle and the left ventricle. The right ventricle is one of the four chambers in the heart. The right ventricle is the responsibility for the right ventricle is to pump oxygen blood to the lungs so you can breathe. So it's one of the most important chambers. The left ventricle. The left ventricle is also one of the four chambers in the heart. It sits at the bottom left part of the heart. The left ventricle's job is to pump blood to the tissues all over the body. Right atrium and the left atrium. The right atrium is also one of the four chambers of the heart. The right atrium receives blood from the body through the vena cava and pumps into the right ventricle. The left atrium. The left atrium was also one of the four chambers in the heart. The left atrium holds the chamber of blood returning from the lungs and transfer blood to other areas of the heart. The pulmonary vein. There are four pulmonary veins right there. The pulmonary veins are responsible for carrying blood from the lungs back to the left atrium of the heart. Humans have 4 pulmonary veins altogether. There are 2 from each lung and 2 right pulmonary veins. So, as I just said, here are the 4 pulmonary veins. Diseases of the heart. Heart failure. Heart failure means that the heart's pumping is getting weaker than normal. It is caused by damage of the heart muscle, and there's many more ways to get damaged. When you have heart failure, your blood will move at a slower rate and more pressure will be in your heart. Some side effects are fever, shortness of breath, heart beating rapidly, chest pain, and more. So as you can see, here's a normal heart. It's strong and heart pumps blood out of the left ventricle, but then when it's weakened, it puts more pressure on the heart, and then it beats slowly. Valvular stenosis. Valvular stenosis occurs when a valve doesn't fully open due to fused leaf leads. Some side effects are chest pain, dizziness, and much more. So here's a normal valve when blood can travel in and out of the valve. But when you have valvular stenosis, blood can't travel in or out because it's destroyed. Hypertension. Hypertension is when the long-term force of blood is against your artery walls. It is caused by stress, increased blood, abnormal arteries, or too much salts. Some side effects are headache, weakness, dizziness, and more. Cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest causes end of blood flow that goes to the circulatory system. It is caused by coronary artery disease and ventricular fibrillation. Some symptoms are fatigue, chest pain, and many more. So here's a normal heart. It's beating normally, pumping normally. But this one is not pumping normally because it has cardiac arrest. Heart attack. When a heart attack happens, a flow of blood to the section of the heart muscle suddenly blocks and can't get oxygen. When you have a heart attack, you most likely have coronary artery disease, which builds up in your arteries. Some side effects are discomfort, pressure, and much more. So in a heart attack, something is blocking the blood from going to the ventricle that gives oxygen to the lungs, and you can't get oxygen. Here are some pictures of the heart. Thank you. Thank you for taking your time to watch my presentation. I hope you enjoy my presentation.